I can't believe it. It's actually October, and we've been on the hunt for this homestead for 4 months already. And when I say a lot has happened, a lot has happened. I've got a lot to fill you guys in on, so let's just jump right in. All right, so when we left off in the last vlog, we were beginning to explore our surroundings, being new to Tennessee, and we were so blessed. Shane had a nice 2 week break in between leaving his old job and starting his new job down here. So we had some family visit and we celebrated Eli's first birthday, and it was all a great start to living life down here in Tennessee. But eventually, Shane had to go to work and we had to start the business of living life down here, just the four of us. Pretty much the first month consisted of really learning our surroundings and getting a really good routine started with the kids. We explored some of the local parks. We found other places that were nearby, like the library. We found a PlayStation that the kids really liked. And my main focus was to find things that were low cost or completely free, considering we would be doing them often, throughout the week. And we're only on one income, so it's really important to save money when we can. I also decided to homeschool the kids, and my son's too young, so really just focusing on my daughter. And although we moved into an apartment for the time being, it was really important to me to get started with homestead living. So cooking a lot of things from scratch and getting really creative with different foods that my daughter really liked that have a lot of sugar in them or are processed, and just really trying to learn how to make them from scratch at home. So after about a month, we finally felt like we knew where we lived, we knew the town, we knew what we liked, and so it was time to start exploring other places that might be potential living areas. And we found one property in particular that was a little out of the way for us, but it was pretty affordable, and so we took a chance and drove 40 minutes from where we lived to go see it. And another big reason why we liked it was because it already had a structure on the land with utilities included. Hopefully it would be cheaper, because that, for us to build specifically cheaper, because we wouldn't have to put in a septic or well or any of those things. If they're in good shape or already dug at the very least, then that's less money for us to pay the builders. Y'all, when I say the struggle was real going to go see this property, it was real. It was such a windy way to get there, and there's no other way to get there. It's just one road in and one road out. And by the time we got to the property, I was literally sick. I was about to puke. So we decided against this property because I shouldn't need a Dramamine to be able to get to our home every day. We really liked the property because it was really cheap and a good amount of land, but was there anything else that you thought about it?
I did like that it was remote, but that's probably better if it was a safe house or something, not the house that we're gonna be living in, commuting to and from work, going to the supermarket.
So we just kind of went about our daily lives and continued the search. We didn't have a realtor or a bank at this point, and that was because we didn't have specific towns in mind that we knew for sure we wanted to live in yet, and we didn't really want to waste anyone's time until we knew for sure specific spots where we would definitely want to live. So as something would come up on realtor.com or Zillow, we would just drive out and check it out and see if this would be a good potential place to live. Just want to give an update. So we've been here for just over a month in Tennessee, and we just went to a farmer's market. We found it a couple of weeks ago because we were looking to get grass-fed meat. We had a local farmer that we loved in Connecticut, and we didn't have that here. So we didn't have that here. So for the first couple of weeks, we were buying from the grocery store, and nobody's stomach was happy, and we weren't happy with it. So we had to find a local farmer, and so Shane was able to find someone that you could purchase online and then go to a farmer's market to pick it up, because that's where they are located every Saturday. And so once we went there, we actually found other stuff that we like. And yeah, so we've been enjoying that. We get raw milk there. We get various like things that are interesting to us at the time there. And so we're really enjoying that.
We went to the Dixie Lee Farmers Market, where we've been going pretty much every Saturday morning to get our meat for the week.
And how do we get the meat? Do we order it there or?
No, it seems like they do carry some stuff there. Some of the there's pretty much only 2 meat vendors there, but it does seem like they carry some stuff you could buy a la carte. But we found that it's just easier purchasing online in advance, and then you just go there and pick it up, which is cool. So we don't have to hang around. We got the little kids and stuff, and there's a bunch of people around and stuff, so it just kind of streamlines it. So here's all our beef. We have 2 ground beef, 2 beefs, and 1 chuck roast. And here we have some Italian sausages, some mild brown sausage. I think this is normal brats. Yep. Brats, no sugar added. And what else did I get? A pork tenderloin. And on the way home, we stopped and grabbed some eggs from
our neighbor. It's literally someone that we drive past every day.
Quarter mile away.
I think every Saturday they put out a fresh egg stand, and then you trade out the egg and you put your money in there. They have a little red box, and yeah, we're super excited to try these eggs. I guess it's a good time to also do an update on the house. So we went to go look and see some properties, and some of them were better than others. There's one that I'm obsessed with. And so right now we are waiting to hear back from the bank. So Shane submitted all of his information, and we're just waiting to hear back as to what we are approved for. I know we're going to get approved. We just need to know like how much, and then we need to find a realtor, and we have one that we like that we need to contact, and hopefully he can take us on. Contact that realtor and then maybe talk about that property. Now, I have to be honest, the property is outside of our range. So what we are hoping is that the owner is willing to sell parcels of that land. So about this land, we absolutely loved it, but it was way above what we could even dream to afford. It was like $500,000 for this plot of land. And it turned out that we definitely couldn't get parcels, but look at this view. Oh my goodness. I just fell in love with this road. It's called 6 Mile Road. I was completely obsessed at this point, and I would stop at nothing until we found land on this road. We're going back to the same road because we really like this road, and there's a chance that the land that we like is going to be too expensive. And so we were searching, and we found a bunch of other properties on the same road because I'm pretty committed to this road. And yes, so is Corinne. And so we're just going to go look. We haven't heard back from the bank yet, but we kind of need to get everything like rocking and rolling as soon as we do. At one point, it seemed like we were at 6 Mile every other week because there were several properties that were for sale, and all of them were kind of above our price range, but we kind of thought maybe if we haggled a little bit, we can kind of get it down on the price. That didn't end up happening. In the midst of all of that frustration, we found one property that was 1 acre, and it was in our price range, and we were so excited. The only caveat was that it was just 1 acre, and that was much less than what we originally intended, but with the location and the price, we were willing to compromise. At the same time, we were looking at other plots of land, and they were not in the same town. They were a little further out, but they still would have been equal distance to Shane's work, which was the most important thing. And because we were finally finding a bunch of properties that could work for us, we decided to go ahead and talk to the builder of the manufactured homes and check out some of those options. We had been looking online at some of the options, so we just picked a couple, and then they showed us. They were really helpful, and we loved one right away, and we pretty much knew it was going to be our house. I was so excited. I pretty much only got bathroom videos. Sorry. Unfortunately, the land that we thought was going to work, the cheap option that was 1 acre, ended up being a huge bummer. After we had picked out our house and were ready to fully commit, we found out that this land had major restrictions. You could only have a certain kind of house on the land. It was a part of a weird subdivision, and you couldn't even have any of the animals that we wanted. That was a major lesson in land buying, figuring out what restrictions there are and whether or not you can do whatever you want on there. Something to keep in mind. So in the meantime, I just continued my homesteading skills, learning how to make butter from scratch. Corinne was losing teeth left and right, like literally left and right. And we just continued on with our search until we found this one property that was a major contender. Now, there's a lot that I have to say about this property, but I don't want this video to get too long, so I'm going to stop it here and call this part 1. I'll tell you quickly what we loved about the property, and then we'll pick back up in part 2. So what we loved about it, it was 5 acres. It had a flat cleared section already attached to the street with utilities available and 0 restrictions. So with that, we definitely loved it, but there was a lot that came with this property. So be sure to stick around for part 2 so we can talk more about what went on with this property.